Hello everyone, this is Frédéric B and I'm talking to you from right here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Hey, I have a special offer for you. That's right. This exclusive free audio download is titled Following Your Passion with life-engineered author J.F. Dubois. And this will give you inspiration and entertainment. Available for a limited time, JF tells us how he is making the transition from graphic designer to author. In a field where rejection is inevitable, he shares his views on how he deals with it. And he also talks about the advice he would give anyone wishing to make a career change and more. Janine Bay from Montreal, Quebec, Canada says, it's inspiring and entertaining, to the point and worth the listen. For a limited time, go to frédéricbaye.com, enter your email, and it will be delivered to your inbox. Go now. Following Your Passion with author J.F. Dubois. Hello everyone, this is Frédéric B and thank you for pushing the download button. I am talking to you from right here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I am a writer, I am a host, I am a friend, I am a partner, I am an animal lover, I am a tough guy, I am a sensitive guy, I do what I want and I do it when I want it. Hey, you know what? It's the end of the summer. It is the end of the summer. I am a summer guy. In Montreal, Quebec, Canada. It is sunny outside, although it is getting friskier and friskier. And you know what? I'm unhappy about it. We are the 20th of September as I record this. You know, I'm a beach guy. I am a tank top and shorts guy. I am a sandals guy. And now winter is right around the corner. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a sun guy. All right. This podcast is about real people facing real challenges, teaching us real lessons. Basically, it is your podcast. It is a personal journal podcast. It is a life podcast. It is free. Every time you download it on iTunes, please go over there and subscribe. It is listener supported, so the way you can do that is tell a friend, leave a review on iTunes, or for more info, podcasts, free gifts. That's right. Subscribe at www.frédéricbaye.com. On Twitter at ByFred. On Facebook, simply type in my name, Frédéric Baye Writer, and you will be set. Hey, I just want to say a quick shout out to all my followers, subscribers, Twitter followers. You know what? I am grateful for you, and the list is growing and growing and growing. And with this new offer that I have, I am thrilled to give you this offer with the author, J.F. Dubois, because it is a very insightful conversation I had with him. And the reason why I decided to give it to you as a free audio download is because this conversation represents everything that I am. It is about following our passion. It is about taking risks. It is about facing rejection. There is a lot more to I think, achieving our dreams than, taking the step into the unknown. Although it is very important to take that step. I think that, in this conversation, a lot of you out there can learn. I learned for sure. J.F. Dubois, I've known him for a little over a couple of years. And, I think he's a great guy. I think he's an ambitious guy. I think he is he has a new book. He has a new book out, by the way. It's called A God in a Shed. And I picked it up. I bought it. I loved it. I'm still reading it. So yeah, I just wanted to give this quick, shout out because, to J.F. Dubois, because, congrats, man, on your endeavors. On today's show, we'll talk about two things. First of all, I'll give you a glimpse at this Wednesday's guest. If you love singing, this is your show. You will love her. Then, we'll review a book that opened my mind to one of the greatest geniuses in the history of music. And I know it will do the same for you. All right, let's begin. This week's subject is singing my life. This will be the subject of this Wednesday's podcast, and we will be joined by singer and songwriter Gabby. That's right, you will be enlightened by her wisdom, passion, and intensity about her beliefs and ambition. She has something to say and says it straightforward. In this first part of the interview this Wednesday, she will talk about her struggles as a teenager and how she faced bullying as a local YouTube celebrity. She will also talk about her love for singing as she was growing up, dreaming about a legendary career. Who hasn't dreamt of being rich and famous? Huh? Well, you know what? She is taking those steps in this direction, and you will love her. I guarantee you. And she will also talk about what she discovered as she went through her dad's old music records. You know these guys, these old rock stars like Led Zeppelin, Metallica, and this was a pivotal moment in her life, in her singing life too. And she will talk about way more than that this Wednesday. I want to see you there. And that brings me to this week's book review. For those of you who don't know me, I am a guy who reads all the time, obviously, and I am an aspiring author. And by the way, I'm planning to release my first novel sometime next year. So stay tuned for that. And I was excited to share this book with you guys because I know it can help you in so many ways. And I know if you're listening to this show, many of you out there need this book. If you are like me, you like to get into the minds of the most successful people in history. Well, this book is for you. The title, The Michael Jackson Tapes by author GABBY Grace. The publisher, Vanguard Press. I'll give you a quick summary of the book. Basically, in 2001, Michael Jackson sat down with his close friend and spiritual guide, Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, to record what turned out to be the most intimate and revealing conversations of his life. It was Michael's wish to bare his soul and unburden himself to a public that he knew was deeply suspicious of him. I'm sure you remember that time, he got arrested for child molestation. I mean, he had really a hard time. Anyway, the resulting 30 hours are the basis of the Michael Jackson tapes. There has never been and never will be anything like them. In these surprisingly honest conversations, Michael exposes his emotional pain and profound loneliness, his longing to be loved, and the emptiness of his fame. You discover why he was suspicious of women and how only children provided the innocence for which he so desperately longed. In his own words, he takes us into the jarring moments of his childhood and speaks of the measures he took to try to heal. He divulges how he came to be alienated from his strong religious anchor and describes his views on the nature of faith. Michael brings us into his tortured yet loving relationship with his siblings. He opens up about his father and his yearning for a time when they might finally reconcile. He talks about his most personal friendships and shares with us his terror of growing old. Isn't it one of the most terrifying thing to grow old for the most of us? Especially when, and I will quote Eckhart Tolle there when he sat down with Oprah. And I will always remember that quote. And he said how, especially for good-looking people, growing old is awful, And anyways, despite his unprecedented fame and recent death, there remain unanswered questions about Michael's life. The answers presented here in the Michael Jackson tapes will both intrigue you and move you. You will be surprised, riveted, and troubled as you peer into the soul of a tragic icon whose life is an American morality tale and whose flame was extinguished much too early. My reaction to this, first of all, jarring. I'm telling you, this book is jarring. I would not present it to you if it was not. Anyway, it is a book that allowed me to have an honest perspective on the most successful singer of all time. I ate this book up. I read it and reread it over and again. The cover is bruised. The cover of my book is bruised because I underlined so many sentences. It's not even funny. It was insightful and Michael's was truthful. Rabbi asked the tough questions, and I like that. I like an interviewer who is not shy to ask the hard question. And you know what? That was pretty cool that he did. I learned a lot about Michael and also about the music industry, the life of fame he lived, and just people in general. Believe it or not, and this is another reason why this book is in my book list in book reviews, it is a personal growth tool. Why? Because Michael, I discovered to achieve that kind of success, you really have to have a real look at yourself. And really, success is about personal growth. It's about the person you have to become, to steal a line from Jim Rohn. And when you read this, there's a lot of wisdom into that book. There is a lot of wisdom that I think so many of us can benefit from. The questions are engaging. It is easy to read. The lessons are deep. They resonated with me in a powerful way. The lessons are about life, real life. And fame is not what we perceive it to be from a distance. It is exactly the type of book I love to read. Everybody, young and old, should read this book. And, I love to learn something when I read. And this book does the job. Another reason why I loved it is that he gives an honest opinion on God, Jesus, women, Muslims, blacks, whites, all races are part of this book and his opinion. And this is what this show is about. This is what I am about. This is what my brand is about. All races, all culture, all faiths. Love is universal. And that is another reason why I chose that book. The issues raised, in that book, his difficult childhood, his rise to fame, his views on women and men, they will surprise you. And a lot of things he says is from, a very keen observation of people around him. He also talks about racism, religion, lawsuits, fame, and more. One of my favorite books, one of my favorite quote from the book is, women are like cats and men are like puppies. Women are smarter than men. And isn't it that true? Don't you find it like, that's true. If you really look at it, us men, we're in certain situations, and I'm not going to name them, but in certain situations, we just stop thinking. And we're just like on an automated body response, right? While women are able to sit back, relax, observe, and act when it is time to act, just like cats. And I don't know, that quote I still think about that quote, and when I observe myself and when I observe other people around me, this quote just resonates with me. Let me read you 2 excerpts with Rabbi Shmuley Boteach asking Michael about ambition on page 135. And I just thought it was important for me to read this part because it is in sync with this show's theme. Shmuley asks, so ambition can be a good thing so long as it is not ruthless, so long as it doesn't involve jealousy and envy. Michael, yeah, so long as it is not hurting anybody. Ambition is a wonderful thing to know how the mind works. and the power of thought and how we create our own circumstances in life. And to know all those goodies about the brain, because we don't come with instructions when we are born. When we are born, you have to find the truth to life. And once you know those things, it's amazing. You know the possibilities. So, Shmuley, so you want to foster that ambition in children, not stifle it, right? Michael, they have it. You just have to will them on. You know, the reason why I chose that quote is because in today's day and age, we're all fascinated by the law of attraction, the law of attraction, the law of attraction. It almost became like an idealistic thing, you know, the law of attraction, the power of thought. And obviously this interview was done before, you know, The Secret came out, before all these big, successful books came out. And I just thought it was fascinating to read it for the first time from Michael Jackson, you know, to read it for the first time. He was not a guy who would share his soul like that oftentimes, except through his music. But in interviews, it was, you know, this is the first interview I've read where he really talks about that kind of stuff, where he really opens up about deep subjects as this one. Again, it's inspiring to read it from a man of his status, and I just wanted to share it with you. Another excerpt is on page 212, and Shmuley asks Michael about relationships with women and fame and money. Shmuley asks, a man wants to have sex with a woman like Madonna, but it doesn't mean he would want to fall in love with a woman like Madonna. Michael, of course, you want to look. I'm in love with innocence. Shmuley, have you met women who have that innocence, or by and large, would you say that this generation is cultivating women who are not innocent, who are not encouraged to preserve their innocence? Michael, I wish they were. Shmuley, celebrities are targets for people who marry them for the wrong reasons, their fortune and their name. But you don't know when someone is interested in you for the wrong reasons. Michael, you don't know. Shmuley, the ancient rabbis said that words that emanate from the heart penetrate the heart, that sincerity cannot be faked. You can't tell when someone is faking it or is full of it. Michael, it is hard because the women today can do a good job of faking it. I mean, a real good job. They are so smooth. Look in the Bible. Women have taken the most powerful men down to nothing because of what is between their legs. Samson, nobody could cut his hair, and he had sex with Delilah. Shmuley, Monica Lewinsky and Clinton, what everyone overlooks is that she went after him, which doesn't excuse Clinton, but she's not off the hook either. Michael, didn't I say that the other day? One woman did so much pain to this president. How much can a woman do to try and hurt a president? Women, don't worry, he's not bashing women the whole book. That's just an excerpt, and obviously men have their, flaws. But I wanted to share this with you because it's important, I think, for many of us to understand what goes behind the scenes. Because oftentimes we're in an era where we're so bombarded by, virtual stuff like internet, TV, and all that, and we tend to believe it. We forget that everything is just edited. We forget that things are made so that they can get a reaction out of you. And I just thought that was an interesting excerpt in the book, because it really shows, to look beneath the surface with women in that case, and the only negative I have as a fan is, Shmuley sometimes has a negative view on today's generation, and in his opinion, the lack of values To me, it came across as the old generation, bashing the new one, as many others of the X generations do. They usually do that. And well, to me, it is closed-minded. And I don't think that's how you teach younger people. You don't teach them by criticizing them, but by learning about them. To me, it showed some closed-mindedness. And the reason why I noticed it is because I read a book called The Power of Positive Thinking, very popular book by Norman Vincent Peale. And actually, it was written by Norman Vincent Peale, but it was not The Power of Positive Thinking. It was another title, which I don't remember at the moment. However, it was written in 1952, and the author, Norman Vincent Peale, says how today's generation, the next generation, has lost their values. And I just thought, we're 1952. Come on, and I had a light bulb right then. Every generation is the same thing. The new one is always screwed up. The new one is always, more daring than the old one. So anyway, I just thought it was an interesting thing. Overall, this book lived up to my expectations. The impact it had on me is that it's a book that I keep safely in my library and I reread it. It's full of wisdom. It allowed me to learn new things about this great artist, about fame, about life, about succeeding. And it showed me that Michael was a down-to-earth guy. It showed the human side of him, which I think was great. He came across as a very classy guy, as, I already thought he was that way. And I loved him even more after reading his answers, to be honest. So, and what I got out of that book is, don't judge a book by its cover. No one is a celebrity or a star, no matter how big the TV wants to show that someone is a star. Everyone is a human being. This Wednesday, Gabby, she's a singer. She is a songwriter. You will be enlightened by her wisdom, passion, and intensity. She has something to say, and she will say it. That's all for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found it helpful. If you want to listen to more episodes, you can visit frédéricbaye.com/podcast. If you'd like to connect, you can also tweet me at @byfred, or you can find me on Facebook at Frédéric Baye Writer. And remember, live with purpose, passion, and love.